Political correctness for thee, but not for me. We all agree that J.K. Rowling sucks. J.K. Rowling tweeted something stupid. Vaush tweeted something back. All J.K. Rowling had to do was shut the fuck up, and she could have been uncritically beloved for like a century. Women be quiet and start apologizing challenge. Oh. J.K. Rowling did not appreciate that joke. J.K. Rowling is a hypocrite. Traditional gender roles for thee, but not for me. You know who else would not have appreciated that joke had it been said by, say, someone like myself? Vaush.
Because I have data.
Is it statistically borne out in data that Kevin Hart's jokes led to more violence towards
No, but it's
people?
statistically borne out in data that making jokes about homophobia and other things like that do lead to more edgy, more homophobic views. Yeah, like actual homophobia.
That's not what the data says. I looked at the study. The study took participants and asked them a series of questions about their pre-existing beliefs. Then, they introduced those participants to some offensive humor and then asked them questions afterwards. What they found is that jokes do not create beliefs, manufacture beliefs, but rather reinforce pre-existing beliefs. So, for example, if a Jordan Peterson anti-feminist type came across a tweet like, "Women be quiet and start apologizing challenge," they would probably view that less... They would probably see that as a comment. And it would reinforce their pre-existing beliefs. Whereas I see that tweet and I'm amused by it because it's so wrong to say, thus reinforcing my belief that that statement is wrong. Jokes are neither here nor there. They're neutral. They are, in fact, jokes.
That has been borne out in data.
Very interested in seeing these
How can you not? Do you seriously believe that if you're
I'm
trying
not just
to
going to take your word for it, Vaush. You've shown a history of not being very honest.
Chat,
So I'd be very happy to see the studies.
What have I ever lied about? For one, chat, find that study. There have been multiple, and I know you can find it easily, okay? Because this is a very fucking easy point to prove. For two, what have I lied about?
I swear to God, he snapped his fingers like he was dealing with a puppy. Well, for one thing, you lied about the studies. You're bluffing. Or you didn't read them. In which case, you're lying about reading them. Also, I seem to recall a tale of a young child who wandered into a kink event in San Francisco and came across a man dressed in a leather puppy outfit. She proceeded to pet the puppy on the head. Somebody took a picture of it, and Vaush retweeted that picture and implied that that picture was taken at a gay pride event. I don't know how many gay pride events he's ever been to, but the kinkiest thing I've seen so far is a Macho Man Randy Savage impersonator. I don't know what city he lives in, but I live in Las Vegas, and this was at night.
Listen, you contradict yourself when you say...
No, I haven't. I have not made any contradictions. Please illustrate a direct contradiction that I have made.
Yes, the contradiction is when you say Kevin Hart makes jokes, therefore could lead to violence towards gay people. That is no different than me saying letting transgender people in the bathrooms could lead to rape.
No, the difference is, nice try, but the difference is I'm not advocating for state policy to prevent Kevin Hart or other people like that from making homophobic jokes.
Can we stop saying that something's not censorship unless the state does it? This is America, corporate America. Power is privatized. Corporations do not need the help of the state to violate your free speech rights. This is not a socialist argument. This is the argument of a naive child.
You were advocating for state policy to prevent trans people, and I can provide evidence showing that stuff like this does increase the risk of homophobia perpetuating itself in society.
It doesn't.
You cannot present evidence that letting trans women into women's bathrooms increases the likelihood of sexual assault. So you're wrong on 3 accounts there. Not only do I have evidence to support my claims, but in one state involvement is present, and in the other one is not. If you wanted evidence, here we go. My chat's filtering it in. Here's a study on how sexist humor can lead to more sexism, as it perpetuates, furthers, and expands upon sexist ideology in a person's head. This is an extremely well accepted sociological contention, and
No, it's not, because you never learned that in sociology. I mean, they've been trying to make this argument for years. The right has been trying to make this argument for years. Rap music causes crime, comic books cause juvenile delinquency, etc., etc. Here's what the joke says. I'll illustrate this for you. I was at a club. There was a comic I like. He was saying some very offensive things about gay people, and I was laughing at how outrageous his jokes were. And the woman next to me, she was not laughing. She was sitting there nodding her head and saying, "That's true." In other words, she left with the exact same beliefs that she walked in with. I left with the exact same beliefs that I walked in with, which happened to be the opposite beliefs of hers. Jokes are neither here nor there. Now, perhaps Vaush has changed his mind. Perhaps he's actually read the study. And this is all just one big misunderstanding. But I did have an interaction with him not too long ago, and I invited him to debate this very topic. He declined to debate with me, but he did reiterate his position. I asked him flat out, should comics be canceled for offensive humor? For example, Ari Shaffir loses a special because he makes a Kobe Bryant tweet. Shane Gillis gets fired because he does this weird Chinese voice while talking about redlining. I haven't had a paid gig in 3 years because I told a suicide joke and I directed it toward a alt-right Marilyn Monroe impersonator who implied I was some kind of potential school shooter. Our politics, clashed. I have a dog in this fight. That's what I'm saying. In all cases, he said flat out that all those cases of cancellations were justified. Now, maybe he changed his mind about all of this yesterday, the day before. Who knows?
And the reason for that is because all of our values, homophobia or otherwise, are products of society. And society can take many forms, one of them being the kind of comedy we consume. Yeah, if we consume comedy and there are people up there making jokes like, yeah, if I ever saw my kid playing with a dollhouse, I'd break it over his fucking head.
Nice delivery there, Rodney. If I came home and found my son playing with a dollhouse, I'd break it over his head because I don't like kids playing with my stuff. I like Vaush. I agree with him most of the time. I've developed a tolerance for his obnoxious nerd voice. But I don't like him man-bun-splaining jokes to me. Okay? Or any other comic. I don't go around telling him how to be a better virgin. Right?